Absolutely. We'll give everyone a couple of minutes to get into place, but we are on a tight schedule, so we'll get started pretty quickly. Hopefully, some of the.
Hello?
Oh, hello, mate. Did you make it through? You're in.
Yeah, I think I've made it through.
Hi,
There's quite a
Paul.
few
I've
different
made it as
screens here,
well.
Chris, that you won't be able to see because you're on the phone, but you've made it through, mate. Well done. I'm just going to rename you Chris so I can tell you who it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
I've done well, haven't I, getting through?
Well,
Yes.
you're done very well. Brilliant. Well done, mate. I'm going to pop you back on mute now, though, and then we'll come to you for some questions after after the show. Okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay. Thanks. See you in a sec. Brilliant. Yeah, we met all the makers of the first episode of Hidden from the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company just before this session. So they've got the new login details. So hopefully we've got a fair few. Don't know. Do you want to put the spotlight on them, Andy? Now we've learned how that works.
Yeah, I can do that. That's a good idea.
We've just learned how to do spotlight on Zoom, which we didn't know before. So that's good. It's 2 minutes past now, and if I start sharing the thing, do you want to keep letting people in?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so my name's Paul, and I'm from Made by Mortals, and Andy's here as well. And we make people-powered musical theatre, and since lockdown, we've been making interactive, immersive podcasts with a range of different community groups and in partnership with health and social care organisations. And today we're going to present to you, this is a world premiere, by the way, of our first episode of our podcast series, Hidden. So this is a brand new, no one's heard it in this kind of setting before. It's officially launching during Safeguarding Adults Week, which is in a couple of weeks' time. So today what I'm going to do is run through the information that we've been given by Social Care Futures, so everyone knows that. Very short introduction, and the first thing we're going to do is listen to the podcast live. Now, in the podcast, it advises you, the first thing it does, it advises you to wear earphones and be portable. Now, many of us are not wearing earphones and we're not portable, but I think you're still going to get a good flavour of it. If you want the link, I'm sure we can provide that to you, so let us know, and you can listen to it separately again in your own home. I'll give you a little bit more information about the session in a moment, but let's just run through this information first. So, okay, welcome. Oh, is this a different one? Yeah, if you're having a problem, call this number. If anybody's struggling to get in, there's the number to call. And the sessions are being recorded. If you want to speak, there will be chances to speak. You'll also be using the chat function as well. There's some questions and there's some points to interact with what's going on. So we really encourage you to do that. But there's also a thing about a yellow card or a banana or a rubber duck, none of which I've got, but hopefully some of you have. And the session will finish on time at 3 o'clock. Please stay on mute if you're not speaking. That's really important, particularly during the podcast playing. We'd really appreciate that. Obviously, if you want to turn your video off, that's fine, but we'd love to see you. If you've got to pop off for any reason, do turn your video off as well, please. Choose gallery view if you want to see everyone, or speaker view if you want to see a big picture of the person speaking, which is currently me, although you'll be seeing the presentation at the moment. Yeah, I'm just sharing the screen for now. Hopefully you can all read that. Brilliant. Okay. Yes, chat function. Do use that chat. I'm sure a lot of you are used to it now, but any responses in the chat, we will be reading stuff out as well as and when we can. If you have any problems with your sound, please check your sound settings. Yeah, because hopefully that will be, because obviously sound is a big part of what we're going to do with you to start with. You're going to hear the podcast straight off there. So it'll be played by Andy through his machine, and it'll be played there. So if there is any glitches or anything, it could be the connection. So, but hopefully it will work as smoothly as possible. And this is one that I've added about the socials. If you can, we'd love to keep talking to you after the session. So do please get in touch with us via Twitter, Facebook, and obviously Social Care Futures as well. That'd be fantastic. Right, let's stop sharing. Fabulous. So we've created this during lockdown with the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company, many of which here. If you're from the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company and you've got a screen, can you give us a wave? Brilliant. So these guys have been working hard, and a few more who couldn't make it today, unfortunately, to create this piece that you're about to experience. It's about 15 minutes in length, and we'll just listen to it in its entirety. And then during the workshop, you're going to learn a little bit about how we've made it together. You're going to also ask some questions based on the character Richard who's in it, for you to answer and think about Richard's experience during this difficult time. And then there will also be an opportunity to ask some more questions at the end, hopefully, if we get time. Andy, is there anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, just to add that it's been made by the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company, but it's been made obviously during lockdown using equipment that they've had to hand. All the voices that you'll hear been recorded over Zoom using different music technology and like I say, the microphones, iPhones, tablets, laptops, handheld phones. Yeah, all the equipment that the guys have had to hand. That's it.
Hope you enjoy it.
Okay.
Please ensure you are wearing earphones and/or the way you are listening to this is portable. Please sit in a comfortable chair to begin.
This is an interactive audio experience made by mortals, performed and created with the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company. It has been made by people in social isolation on equipment they have had to hand. Through listening to this, you will learn a little about the people who have created it. You will also discover Richard and Richard's lockdown story. Richard is 70. He has a heart condition, diabetes, and a mental health condition. He is vulnerable. You will discover things about Richard's life before COVID-19 and during his time in social isolation. You will learn that he has been a victim of financial exploitation. Richard is a fictional character devised by the company using their skills, imagination, and lived experience as inspiration. The voice you hear will be Paul's. He will be your guide.
During this experience, you will hear me and the voices of the company. You will also hear music and sounds. The music and sounds will help you with your understanding and connection. On occasions, you'll be asked to speak out loud in your own voice. The audio will leave space for you to do this. You'll also be asked to move around. The audio will leave space for you to do this as well. Please press pause on the audio if at any time you need more time to speak or move. This is fine. This experience is for you, and you must take the time you need. When you move around, you'll be moving around your own home, but you'll be asked to believe you are somewhere else, with someone else. Richard. Don't worry, it's only 15 minutes. Please take a moment to enjoy the comfortable chair you are sat in. Let's begin. Breathe. Listen.
I'm Julia.
I'm Habib.
I'm Mike.
I'm Danny.
I'm Chris.
I'm Pam.
I'm John.
I'm Nicola.
I'm Sue.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Katie.
I'm Anne.
I'm John.
Now say your name out loud. Do that now. Now look at your shoes. Listen.
Black Clark's shoes.
Slightly pointed black leather shoes.
Bare feet.
Black Reebok trainers.
Sandals with lots of different colours.
Pale blue pointy slip-ons.
Black Nike Air Max.
Rose gold sandals.
Red and white slippers.
Blue suede trainers.
Pink bouncy trainers.
Red Crocs.
Black high heels.
Like the company, say out loud what type of shoes you are wearing. Describe them. Do that now. Now think about your last meal. Taste it again in your mind's eye. Picture yourself back eating it. Listen.
Minestrone soup.
Cottage pie.
Beef burgers, chips and peas.
Scampi chips, peas and Vimto jelly.
Chili con carne.
Chicken wraps.
Porridge with cocoa, strawberries and blueberries.
Chicken curry and rice.
A couple of sarnies with tinned veg soup.
Toasted tea cake.
KFC boneless banquet.
Salmon, fried potatoes and parsley sauce.
Now say out loud what your last meal was. Do that now. Now get up and walk over to your front door. Do that now. Open your front door. Look out. Breathe. Listen.
A boat's going by, and I've not been on one of them for weeks and weeks.
A small enclave of plants and a passage that leads to a primary school.
Cars, motorbikes, green trees and a blue sunny day.
There's lots of cobbles and a big skip.
A row of houses and the gate.
The train track and the road full of cars.
There are 2 large villas across the street.
Cars and motorbikes on both sides of the road.
Children playing in the sun.
My little garden and my little tree.
A red car and a disabled parking space.
Now say out loud what you can see. Do that now. Soon you will turn around and walk back into the home behind you. When you do, it will not be just your home anymore. It will also be Richard's home. Using your imagination and the imagination of the company, you'll be entering Richard's home. When asked to do so, you will turn around and make your way to the kitchen. Physically, it will still be your kitchen. It will be where you expect it to be, in your home. But in this audio experience, it will be Richard's kitchen also. Please go there now. Stand in the entrance. Breathe. Listen.
It's cluttered.
There's cheap crisp packets all over the place. There's black mould on the walls.
There are boxes on the floor.
The floor has grey tiles that are in need of a good clean.
The wall tiles are pale brown.
There's a big oven door smothered in tomato sauce.
Red grease above the cooker that has really stuck in.
Fruit flies are circling the overflowing bin bags.
Not much has been put away. The work surfaces are covered in bits and bobs.
It's dark and dingy.
It's in need of a good paint.
There's a bright red kettle.
Breathe. Sniff. Sniff again. Wrinkle your nose. Imagine an unpleasant smell. Take one step forward. Glass. Say glass. Don't worry, it can't hurt you. Only Richard. Try the kitchen light. Do that now. Notice Richard's bulb has gone. Open up a kitchen cupboard. Peer inside. Now listen.
The cupboards are bare.
The cupboards are bone bare.
Where's the beans?
Where are all the tins?
Where's the tea and coffee?
There's nothing there.
The cupboards are bare.
Cupboards are bone bare.
Where's the gravy?
Where's the rice pudding? Where's the jam?
There's nothing there.
The cupboards are bare.
Where's the cooking oil?
Where's the snacks?
There's nothing there.
Where's the fresh veg?
Where's the biscuits?
Where's the pot noodles?
Where's the pasta?
The cupboards are empty.
Where's the spaghetti hoops? Where's the hot dogs?
There's nothing there.
Where is the fruit?
Where's the soup? Where's the rice?
Where's the lentils?
The cupboards are empty.
There's nothing there.
Wonder, why are the cupboards like this? Wonder, what has happened here? Now close the cupboards and make your way to the entrance of the sitting room. Your sitting room in Richard's home. Do that now. Breathe. Look around the room at all the objects and things. Your things, Richard's things. Notice a walking stick, supporting a collection of badges, a big red flask, and a sturdy pair of boots. Listen.
Richard loved walking. He loved to stand on top of Memorial Hill and look over the houses and people below.
He's out in any weather with his packed lunch and waterproofs.
He collects badges to remind him of where he's been.
Notice the certificates on the walls, the photographs of Richard shaking hands or posing with others side by side.
Richard is a social person. He goes to lots of mental health groups and clubs.
He's a regular at his local pub.
He loves learning new things.
Notice the packets of Pro Plus and the stained logoed coffee mugs.
Richard is struggling to sleep at night.
He's going to bed later and later.
He's not getting enough exercise.
He's begun sleeping during the daytime.
He has lost his routine and his independence.
Notice a pair of drumsticks, an impressive lineup of CDs, and photographs of Richard in a band.
Richard loved music.
He plays in a Beatles tribute band.
He's Ringo.
His fellow bandmates are also in their 70s. He worries about them.
He struggles to talk to them on the telephone. It's just not his way.
Picture the photograph of Richard in a band, playing the drums. Notice how well dressed he is. Notice the obvious effort he has made with his appearance. Notice how alive he looks. He is handsome for an older man. Now look at a comfortable chair somewhere in this room. Choose the main chair, the best, most comfortable place to sit. That there is Richard. Richard is in that chair, or a chair just like it. Listen. Say, are you okay, Richard? Richard tells you that the son of his neighbour has taken his food and money. Richard tells you the son was supposed to be helping him. He was supposed to be getting Richard food, doing jobs about the home that Richard could not do and needed doing. It had started with loose change. Richard had spoken to his friend, his neighbour, about his son. This had caused a terrible row, one Richard would like to forget. Richard says it's okay, that he can cope, that hopefully this is now the end of it. Richard wonders what next, though. What next after all this? Say, are you okay, Richard? Richard says he is. You don't believe him. Think, I don't believe you, Richard. Say, is there anyone helping you, Richard? Richard says there is not. Richard tells you that he doesn't want busybodies interfering in his life. He doesn't want strangers claiming he's mad all over again. He doesn't need their help. He'd rather be left alone. Breathe. You are concerned for Richard. You are worried for him. Richard is not safe in his own home. Richard was just about coping before lockdown, and then his systems, his support network, his routines began to crumble. Now this. Ask Richard an open question. Do not judge him, just listen. Say, what's important to you, Richard? What support do you need? Say, how can I help you, Richard? Say, what can I do? Just listen.
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 Just listen. Following music has been composed by the company. It tells Richard's lockdown story through music. Please return to the comfortable chair where you began and listen and reflect. When the music finishes, you can remove your headphones or tune out. You will be back in your own home, just yours. The audio experience will be complete.
This was an interactive audio experience made by mortals, performed and created by the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company with support from the Arts Council and the National Lottery.
Brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for that. I could see some of you actually moving around and speaking, which is really, really moving. Thank you for joining in and listening along. Now, we've got quite a few of the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company who've created the piece on the line, either using telephones if they haven't got Wi-Fi, or coming in using their laptops and whatnot. So could you just, and I know we won't be able to hear everybody, but could we just give them a big round of applause, please? After 3, 1, 2, 3, off you go. Right, I can definitely see people. For those on the phone, I can see people clapping along and whatnot, because we're really used to doing shows in the real world, as it were, and this is our first time not doing that. So I guess that's one thing I know that they all enjoy, is the round of applause at the end. So it definitely happened. I hope you all had an experience. Now Andy's going to do a bit about how we created the music, and then I've just got a few questions about Richard and how Richard's experience and what might happen next for Richard. And I want you guys to think about that and answer some of those questions. And I also want some of the group to talk about that as well, if possible. But Andy, a little bit about
Great. Yeah. Well, nice to meet you all. My name's Andy. I work alongside Paul at Made by Mortals. And first of all, thank you for some of you with the really kind comments in the chat room already, saying, you know, some people saying fantastic and moving, really powerful. Listen to it 3 times and still breaks me. That's really, really great comments for us to hear. It took a while in the making, and we really appreciate that. So thank you. Like I said before, of everything that we're talking about with the answers to the questions, any comments that you have, please put them in the chat room. It's really, really good for us going forwards as well. So about the music then, that's my background. I'm a composer. I play the piano as well. You can see a guitar in the background. I sometimes dabble on that, but I won't call myself a guitarist. But I do play the piano when I do compose. And we had the privilege of working with a professional orchestral musician, a cello player called Liz Hanks, based in Sheffield, on that episode of Hidden, whose music you heard at the end. And when we decided about the music, we're traditionally a musical theatre organisation, but obviously we're unable to kind of go into theatre and perform how we used to at the moment. So when we're thinking about the music for Hidden and how that can link to what we do traditionally in the theatre, we thought about a style of music called programmatic music, which some of you may be aware of. And it basically means music to represent a story or represent a character. And not just kind of like inspired by, but like physical happenings or character traits or personalities of the characters in the story being represented through the music. So we worked with the group to think about Richard's character, some of his character traits and happenings in the story, and how that could be represented through the cello. And the reason why we do that is because we feel that it creates a more human representation of the story and helps us get across that story more powerfully than perhaps if we didn't do that. So a dead simple example is to kind of like using the piano is to say, well, you can have like happy or sad music depending on the combination of notes that you use. But one example from Hidden is the movement of Richard's footsteps when he gets up and he walks. Well, the group decided that he would kind of amble along slightly. So on the piano, you could do that as. Now I could play that on the piano, but in order to facilitate that with the group, they would walk around kind of pretending to move like Richard, and the musicians would match the beat of the footsteps. Obviously they could have chose to use high sounds, but they didn't because they felt it was like a more heavy, cumbersome, like amble along. Now that's me on the piano doing it, but we had Liz, the cello player, and she was describing different techniques you can use on the cello. So she used like the low pizzicato sounds of the cello. Boom, 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 boom. So when you hear it later, again, that short excerpt, listen out for that. But I'm going to open it up to the group for them to explain some of the other character traits or happenings in the story that were represented through the music. So you can try and identify them when you hear it in a moment. So Nicola, I'm going to go to you first, please. Could you unmute yourself? That's it.
Yeah.
We got you. Hi, Nicola. Say hi to everyone.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicola.
So, Nicola, tell us about your ideas for the music and what Liz did.
I think she very much captured the mood that Richard was in and his feelings with the expression that she did with the cello.
And you had an idea of Richard having kind of the shakes, didn't you?
Shakes, yeah. He had shakes. So we were using vibrato to make the shakes sound.
And can you describe what vibrato is?
It's when you make the note reverb itself to make it muffled and accented.
Yeah, and it kind of wobbles a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Great. So again, listen out when you hear that cello piece again in a moment for that shaky sound, that vibrato quality, and that's what that is trying to represent in that music. Thanks, Nicola. Katie, can I go to you? What did you think about the music? And what ideas did you have to get represented with the music? Can you unmute yourself, Katie?
Hey everyone. I thought the music was really not really good, and it was really sad.
Yeah. And how did you get Liz to play in that way? Because she didn't just make it up herself, did she? Like, she worked with us. So how
Yeah,
did you...
I got Liz to play in that way by yeah. I chose a part that she did in it.
And can you remember what that part was? There was something about Richard's hobby, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you remember what Richard's hobby was?
Richard's hobby.
Yeah, do you remember what he used to like doing? He used to like playing music himself, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to like playing music, like playing on the guitar.
And can you remember how Liz represented the guitar sound? Because it's not a guitar, is it? And then the drums as well, yeah. How did she represent playing the guitar and the drums on the cello?
Represented it with like a note, like a high note.
And can you remember how she played it?
Note. Right.
Did she play the cello in any unusual ways, or how do you think?
Yeah, she played. I'm forgetting what the notes are called. She played it like a smooth, she played like a high note and like a smooth note and like a stop note thing.
Great. And I think she also had the. You were telling me before about how she turned the cello around.
Yeah.
And then what did she do then?
She tapped. And I thought it was amazing when she turned the cello around and she tapped.
That's
it. She tapped on the back of the cello.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So, go on, carry on.
To make it. And I tried to get her to play the high notes and stuff. The high notes.
That's great, thank you, Katie.
Banged,
so yes,
she banged on the back.
She did. She banged on the back, and it was like she was using her fingers, wasn't she? So traditionally, you'd use the bow for the cello, but she banged on the back with her fingers to represent the sound of him playing the drums, or finger tapping as he sat on the armchair. So there was a combination of these things. So the shakes, the
and I tried to get her to do it, didn't I?
You did, and everyone.
I tried to get her to do it. Yeah.
And using words and ideas and movement, the gang from the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company managed to get Liz to play the piece that you just heard.
Fantastic. All right. I learned loads about music as well, because that's not really my background. I'm more theatre and writing, so it was a real eye opener to work with Liz and the rest of the gang in that way. So that's great, and you're going to hear the music again. So when we finish the workshop, so we want you to try and see if you can pick up on some of the things that we've just been talking about. But there's also some questions that I think that we want to ask with Richard, because in a way we want the piece to be a bit of a provocation, really, a bit of a starting point for a conversation that goes beyond just what's happening with Richard. We want to inspire people to sort of really think about how we look after people in situations like Richard in. And the piece is made from the group's lived experience, but not directly. It's informed by it, shall we say, and it's helped to come up with this character and create this character in this world that Richard is in. And we really like this piece and the workshops that surround it to help tease out solutions and possibilities for people in situations like Richard finds himself in. So my first question, I want you to use the chat or give me a wave if you want to literally answer it. How does Richard feel? having listened to the piece, and the moment we leave him, how does he feel? Let's see if one of the group want to answer that verbally. Habib, would you like to have a go at that? Yeah. Habib, what do you think? How does Richard feel?
Richard feels like he's been stripped, and the way he'd been stolen from, it made it worse. And I don't know what he did to build up again.
So that last bit again, Habib, sorry. He feels he's been
stolen from, and it's made him feel like they've taken his dignity away because he got so upset that anything comes out. So really disturbs the person.
It disturbs him, and that feeling of having losing his dignity. Is that something you think he how's important to him?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that loss of.
Yeah, loss as well.
Thanks, Habib. Does anyone else want to answer that one about how Richard feels when we leave him? Nicola, do you want to jump in on that? Can you unmute yourself? Stars.
Yep, I've got it. I'm here.
I thought you were going to.
I think it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and you think it's really bad, and then it just gets worse, and he's sat there going, what am I going to do now? What? There isn't anything to do. I'm just sat here in my house going, right, no solutions, just complete on his own, feeling lonely.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it keeps on getting, what can possibly more go wrong? It must be an awful feeling.
Yeah, something else happens.
Yeah, we've got loads of things.
Loads of things in the chat as well that agree with you, Nicola. Loads of people agree with you. So people are saying lonely and sad. He feels hopeless, stuck in a drudgery. He's exhausted. Feels like giving up. Feels forgotten, flat, tired, and had enough. Ashamed and lonely. Feels like he's got no control and he's being bullied. Feels very lonely, isolated, and depressed and powerless. Feels very let down and emotionally exhausted. And he feels exploited by his neighbour and by the system. And he's questioning, where can I turn?
And I've noticed Katie said emotionally exhausted. She was talking to me about that before the session, and I've never heard that phrase before, that emotionally exhausted. And I think that really sums up the situation that some people can find themselves in at the moment. I think a big thing that we always talk about in the group, and it always comes up when we do work like this, is about trust. And we all felt that, Richard can't, or is not feeling, like he can trust people. Why do you think Richard feels like that? So my question is, why do you think Richard feels like he can't trust people? Why can't he trust people? Katie, do you want to jump in on that maybe? Are you there, Katie? Or yeah. Katie, why do you feel like Richard doesn't trust people? Why doesn't Richard trust people?
Because of his bad experience, his personal experience in the past. He went through a personal experience in the past, so that's why he can't trust anybody.
Right, and what impact that experience have on him?
Like about when you're talking about his friend in the audio, like he trusted him and to help him through things like with the house and everything, and he was paying him, and he took advantage and wanted more and more money off him. So now he can't trust anybody. He feels like he can't trust anybody now.
Right.
And that, he doesn't like anybody now. And that everybody hates him, set out to punish him because of that. Can't trust anyone after that.
Yeah, it must be difficult. Have you got any advice for him at all?
Mm-hmm.
To help him with that?
Talk to someone. And
who do you think you should talk to, Katie?
He needs to make the people that he can't trust understand him. He needs to talk to someone important and try and make them understand him. And he needs to feel that nobody hates him, and not everybody's like that, untrusting, and he needs to get the confidence to trust people again and gain it.
And how do you do that? How do you gain the confidence to trust people again?
Just by learning how to trust them, and just talking to the right people.
Brilliant.
Saying that some of his thoughts that he's having aren't real, and that he's just paranoid, and he can get the help, and he's not, the will's not against him. And
he feels like that at the moment.
The will's not against him. It's not all that bad. What, Paul?
He feels a bit like the world's against him at the moment, though, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just needs to learn. It just needs the right help to help him understand and learn that it's not all so bad. Bad he thinks it's his illness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of it. Talking to him.
Brilliant. Thank you, Katie. I really appreciate that. I'm just going to put you back on mute, and I'm going to ask another question of everybody, I think. Thank you. What help? What would help Richard? And maybe also who would help Richard? What would help Richard, and who would help Richard? I think we should get a catch. You want to give us a catch up on them on the chat?
Yeah, sure. So going back to the last question, really, people saying that he doesn't feel worthwhile or lovable. So maybe there's a kind of question. You flip that into a question. How can he make himself feel that, or how can people help him feel more worthwhile? And somebody's put, because he's not being heard, and therefore how can they possibly understand, which I think is a really interesting point. And then somebody put, they let you down, judge you, or take over. And then somebody else has put, no one understands him, the systems don't understand him, they see him as a problem to be fixed, which again is another really interesting point.
Absolutely, really interesting. So let's think about trying to help Richard. And I guess what we're really keen to do with this work is give people an opportunity with a range of lived experience, really, to sort of use the character as a way of kind of thinking around what support and how you could help people and sort of unpick the situation a little bit, so we can learn about that situation and work out what the best way of helping people is. So how would we help Richard? Mike, do you want to have a little go on that? I can see you there. Hopefully you're happy to talk. Are you happy to talk, Mike? Can you unmute yourself? No, you don't fancy it. Okay. Is there anyone on the phone? I don't know who's on the phone. Is it you, Chris?
Chris is there. Chris is there, so Chris unmutes.
You press *6, Chris.
Here he is.
Chris.
Hello.
Hiya, Chris. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Was that good listening to it?
Yeah, it was good. Yes. Yeah, it was very good. I like the cello and everything. That was good.
You like that bit, don't you? You've got quite a few people on the screens here, Chris. I know you can't see them because you're on the phone. I've got a bit of a question for you about how we can help, or who could help Richard. What do you think? What help could we give him?
I think he needs to get in touch with professionals or go to a support group, because there's groups out there for virtually everything. So, Richard's probably a person who has multiple problems, not just one. So I think he could also not only get the support, but it'll give him a bit of routine in his day to day, which might make him feel better.
So routine's important, do you think?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely. It's been proven by doctors that if somebody's unwell, that if you give them a routine, there's a lot of progress and people get a lot better by doing that. Because it's also distracting as well. So if you're sat in a flat all day, you're going to be very introverted. But if you're out doing things, your mind, you come home and you've forgotten about what you're worried about. Oh, But with the lockdown, it would be difficult for him to do that. But he could always phone somewhere, get in touch with people on social networks and stuff like that.
Yeah, somebody's just said that in the chat room, Chris, which I know you can't see at the moment. Somebody's just said, Laura's just said, to talk to people who are in a similar position and people who have come out of this situation.
Yeah, because they'll have the experience as well. So they'll be able to understand Richard. I mean, if people haven't been what he's been through, they probably won't understand.
Do you think it's important to talk to people who have had similar experiences?
Yeah, definitely. In my experience, especially, yeah. Definitely.
Why would you say that? Why is it important, do you think?
Because, I don't know, a problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it? I think, when you know you're not the only person who's like that, then, it feels better straight away just by that,
Absolutely. What have you got? Any sort of tips? If you could speak to Richard and give him some tips with because, like you say, I think Richard was really coping pretty well before lockdown. In my imagination, because he had lots of things going for him, didn't he? And we talked about that.
What he needs to do is, personally, what I do, especially at the moment, I don't think about the coronavirus. It doesn't enter my mind because I'm constantly distracting myself. So I get my cleaning done, play on my Xbox, play a bit of music, or read a book, or practice things, and just keep doing that,
That's interesting what you just said about practicing things as well, because again, somebody just put in the chat room, Chris, agreeing with you, get something to give him some purpose.
Or you could start a hobby. If you start, I don't know, so I don't do this, but perhaps make a little train set, do a jigsaw, or, do a puzzle, or build a car, make a model aeroplane, giving yourself a project to really concentrate on, and, to pass the time, because if you are staring at four walls, especially when in lockdown, when you're in every day, I mean, that's going to make anybody feel a lot worse. So with Richard's illness, he'd feel 10 times worse. So I'd just use a technique of distraction. That's what I'd do if I was Richard.
What about building trust again? Because he's been a victim here, hasn't he? Someone he's trusted took money and things from him. How's he going to? How's he going to build trust again?
I think he needs to be more assertive with people. If people are doing that to him, I think he should stand up for himself and don't do it in a nasty way, but say to him, if you start calling around again, I'll tell the police. If you don't leave me alone, there's going to be consequences, because the people who are doing that to him, the reason why they're doing it is because they know he's vulnerable and they think he's an easy target. But if he got more assertive, I think they'd start to leave him alone.
That's interesting. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I'm going to put you back on mute, Chris. Is anyone else from the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company here who wants to talk and feels they haven't? If you're on a phone, you press *6 to unmute. If you're on the screen, you obviously just unmute yourself. Has anyone got any advice for Richard or any ideas about how we can help him before we listen to the music again? No? Hello, someone on the phone there?
Hello?
Hello? Oh, hi, Nicola. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I've got you. How would you help?
I've found from my personal experience, it's been very, very useful to stick to my normal routine of taking my medication, sleeping at the same time, eating at the same time, making sure I'm clean, washed and dressed. Even though you're just spending time in the house, it's nice to still matter and make sure that you're looking after yourself, and it really does pick you up and get you through. Just a bit of self-care.
Right.
I think Richard needs to sort of stop drinking the coffee and maybe try and sleep better.
Yeah. Oh, Have you gone? Sorry, are you there, Nicola?
No, I'm here.
Oh, the sound just went a bit funny there. I think that's a really good, really good quality advice. Thank you. Andy, we'll sort of tend to now. Should we play the music now with all that sort of in mind?
Yeah, so with everything that we've just talked about, the kind of programmatic music being more like physical representations of Richard, and then obviously all the kind of discussion that we just had and what people have put in the chat room.
And perhaps, sorry, while it plays as well, if you've got any specific questions about how it was made, either that we could ask the group or me and Andy could try and answer ourselves, if depending on what the question was, do please ask any questions. And if we do have any time, the last few minutes, we'll try and answer your questions specifically about how the work was made. Thank you. Brilliant. I'll if you've got any questions, do bang them in the chat, and we'll try and answer them. We've only got a few minutes left now, just to sort of tell you what's going to happen next to the work. It's officially launching during Adult Safeguarding Week, which is 16th to 22nd of November. We'll be doing some workshops with Oldham Safeguarding Adults Board as part of that. Similar workshop to today, although there'll be more people with lived experience involved, talking and saying their opinions and feelings about Richard's situation. And then that will be repeated in another workshop with health and social care practitioners and commissioners, and used as a sort of challenge to them to really think about what wraparound care could look like for Richard at this time. And then our next episode, which is Yusuf's story, will be released in January. So you'll be able to listen to that one too. And we've got other ones currently in development to go alongside each of the podcasts. We're also going to record the audio from some of the workshops and do some interviews. So there's a sort of hopefully some sort of training resource there for people, or just something for people to listen to, where there's a discussion around the themes that goes alongside each of the creative 15-minuters, if you like. And then we're going to do a session with some other groups, including a 16 to 25-year-old group starting in December, and then hopefully another group in the new year. So plenty going on. It should be all up on our website in the next couple of weeks, which is www.madebymortals.org. So you'll be able to see it there in action in the next couple of weeks.
Someone just asked a question about how did you all meet and how are you funded? Well, the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company has been in existence for many years, run by, founded by Johnny Barlow, who was a man in his 60s that used drama and drama techniques in order to improve people's health and well-being. And he ran the group well into his 90s. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. And Made by Mortals took on the running of the Johnny Barlow Theatre Company about 5-6 years ago. So we normally meet on a Thursday afternoon at Guidebridge Theatre in Audenshaw, but we've not been doing that since March, obviously. So we've just been meeting on Zoom every single week, just like this, discussing ideas for the piece, having musicians join us, script writers, actors, etc. And we devise the script and the story, and we record it and the music week by week by week. So that's what we've been doing since March. And how are we funded? We're funded through, well, Paul, you're probably the best place to answer that question.
The lottery, National Lottery. So thanks to the National Lottery players for their support. And the Arts Council funded us. Action Together has also supported us. So we've managed to, we're really fortunate to put in some funding and support from various different places. So thank you to everybody that's helped us with that.
Brilliant. Thank you all very much for listening and for all your comments. Really wonderful comments in the chat. So thank you.
Thank you, and do keep the conversation going on Twitter. We're at Made by Mortals, so we'd love to hear from you. And yeah, hopefully, there'll be some more stuff coming from us soon, and we'll all meet again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.